sports fans, 18-footer fans in particular. It's the 20th of October down in Sydney Harbour. On a beautiful afternoon, you just saw Grant Rollerson step aboard the Fisher and Paykel. A whole lot of changes in this fleet this season, and that's just one of them. We'll get back to that later on. No Mark Healy today. He's back up in the UK for a little bit of work, and we've got Warwick Rooklin, Wazza as he's known. He's just fresh off a Melger's 24 World Championship up in San Fran, so we'll get some information out of him later on. But welcome back. It's the start of another season. We've got a 3-buoy race today, a depleted fleet I might add. We're calling this a soft opening to our race coverage. It's a bit like the hotel chains when they open a new property. There's a lot of rust in that park, a lot of boats. There's been musical crews going on. There's new skippers come in. One of the headline acts of this fleet this year is Chris Nicholson, has come to sail the Mojo with a very talented crew on that boat, and he's not here today, unfortunately. He's up in China. Whole pile of news to tell you. We'll come back to you when Warwick turns up. He's out there getting some information in the park, but you're in for a good afternoon. It's maybe 15, 16 knot nor'easter coming our way. It's a fabulous day, and we'll get on with it shortly, and we'll introduce Warwick to you back in a second. Okay, so we found Warwick Rooklin. Thanks for coming out, mate.
It's all right.
It's been a while since we've done this, and this is I've described this as a soft opening today. Yeah. Because you walk around the park, it's all unorganised in there. There's the blokes screwing their boats together, they swap crews, and people missing, boats are missing. So hey, it's standard 18-foot skiff fare. Yeah. So I want to catch up with you about you've been over to San Fran doing a bit of Melger's work. Yeah. And how'd you feel about that? Good experience?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's always good to race there. And we had a good time, very competitive field.
Where'd you end up?
We 19th.
Okay, so out of
60.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. That's tough going, isn't it?
Yeah. And it was very light and funky, but no excuses. We're just not doing it enough.
Yeah.
But great, great to sail against all those guys.
Yeah, some hotties.
So no, it was good. Really good regatta.
What life's all about, mate.
Exactly.
Have a crack. Listen, Let's get out on the water. We'll see you out there. Warwick and I got a lot of scratching our heads to do, try and work out who's going to podium out of this scratchy fleet. We've got no idea. See you out in the water. Okay, so we've found the Ripple side right beside us, port side, and we've got the ferry in your view at the moment. Now, still on AP, I think, but just to give you the heads up on what's going on. We don't have Gary Lineker involved as the PRO anymore. We've got a whole new team on there, Warwick. We've got actually a team from the Vaucluse Yacht Club, Cameron, nicknamed the Dog, and you've got Richard Winning, nicknamed Diesel, and there's another helper in there called Ten Bums. So how do you reckon they're going to go, buddy?
I reckon they'll go just fine with those names.
So what are we looking at, mate? We've got 15 knots out here, you reckon, nor'east?
Yeah, and definitely building, so everyone's on second sail, and so it should be, for a first race really, great. Another summer, but another summer coming around, nor'east, the traditional Sydney Harbour kind of breeze, so it should be great.
Classic day, and of course these crews have got a lot of rust in them. This is their first real hit out, soft opening of the season, so we'll be not expecting too much. It's going to be pretty easy on them. There's no big run out. The tide's running out, but it's almost at the bottom, so no catastrophes at the Bearway, you'd think? Possibly.
It depends, like a lot of these guys have been around a long time, so it's no big deal for them to just step back in and go, but maybe some of the newer teams, might struggle as the race progresses.
So, it's a 3-buoy challenge, 3-buoy handicap, scratch start. The 3 buoys are laid up at the Beecher buoy, so all the handicaps unwind. Every time they go up to there, and there's 3 roundings of that mark, these handicaps unwind. So you got to, it's more like our job was, you've got to try and work out who's going around which mark, because the lead changes dramatically in these races. If you take your eyes off, if you're looking at somebody that's winning on scratch, they're not leading.
Yeah, we get the shortcut comes into it.
Yeah, cut the corner. So typical nor'easter, run out tide, first to Bradley's is the go, and then just step out and see which side of the harbour you want to run.
Yeah, pretty much, standard nor'easter in summer, so it should be good.
Yeah, good on it was. We'll come back to you. We've hopefully set it up. We're as rusty as anybody else out here. So the course today, course 1, you start off this line, you go up to the Beecher buoy. Spinnaker's on round Shark Island, back down to Clark Island. That's one lap. So up and back down to Clark, that's a sausage leg, and then back up the Boucher Boy around Shark Island and dash for cash to the finish line. And that's where all those handicaps will be unwound, and we'll tell you who's won this or who's on the podium. And there's no Pick the Podium, folks. Today we won't be starting that event until that competition until the 3rd of November. But we also have a new website. I'm trying to get as much info for you. The website is up, but it's not completed, so it's a work in progress. Simon will be working away. The big feature of that now is all the archive has gone up there. We've just got to sort it out so it's easy for you to work your way through it if you want to. We'll come back to you when we're inside a minute and get this start away. Back to you then. Okay, so we're just probably in about 10 seconds ago, or even less. I think you're on Mojo. That's Ewan McNichol, and he's wanted that pin in, not surprisingly. So it's a dash to Bradley's, and there's Pure Blonde. Nick Daly is steering that boat. Woody's, they're still fighting for position here. So we're certainly in the last 15 seconds now, I think. But Ewan going for that pin in, Warwick. That's where you want to be. Run out tide. It's a no-brainer. Kenwood's underway. Who do you like, Warwick, for your podium? Not that we... Oh, hang on.
Individual
recall. So somebody's bought it.
Well, Nick Daly was doing a pretty wild run down the line then, so it may well have been him. I'm not sure. No, DeLonghi's going back.
So Simon Nern's been a culprit. He's at least given himself an uppercut there. So the game is on. First real race of this season. They raced last Sunday, but it was blown out. Only 2 boats got around that track. One was Smeg, fine form, and the other was Kenwood, Brett Van Munster. So that was that result. But today we've got a better competition out here. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13 boats, my quick count. And we'll get over to Bradley's and just work out what's going to happen. But I'm thinking Bowers are down, Warwick, and Mojo's looking pretty good across the fleet, potentially.
Yeah, no, I agree. And got Ewan McNichol on board today. He's just been racing all winter or the European summer, so he's always good on an 18, and he's obviously pretty sharp from all that sailing.
So we're on Mojo now. He's heading into this doldrums there off Bradley's. How far has he got to go before he hits a brick wall in here, mate?
Well,
he's going out.
Yeah.
That's about as far as you want to go?
Exactly. That's a hard thing, to be able to extend far enough so you don't have to take sterns, which he's going to have to do.
Yeah. And he's going to take a few sterns here, He's got Panasonic, Jono Whitty.
Yeah, so that didn't actually work out all that well for him.
They're very bowed down, weren't they?
Yeah. But that's always a risk at the pin end on this course. You've got such a short runway to hit, as you call it, the doldrums, so that's a deal, but it's a long way to go yet.
So the leader possibly is Lumix right there in your view. Jonathan Whitty doing a great job. Always solid in these sorts of brews. He's got his regular crew on, so that's a help. So that's how it's setting itself up. A few gone back to the east there. Malcolm Page in the kitchen maker. But Mojo has crossed Smeg. If you come round to the left, Simon, you can see Mojo's done better out of going off the pin end and taking back across. So there's the difference in the two fleets. Mojo's clear across those starboard tackers. We'll pick it up when it settles down. We've got 2 fleets at the moment. Come back to you then, we'll get up off Taylor Bay. So we've got Lumix, Jono Whitty's guys doing a pretty fine job right now. He's just north of Bradley's. He likes the look of this left-hand side of the track. And he's clear across Malcolm Page, and this other fleet has gone well to the east. Mojo over there, how do you like him? Was it right across behind you there?
Well, I was just talking to a skiff legend behind me. He's Johnny Stanley, and he tells me there's a lot more tide over there, so that could pay out for them.
Yeah, well,
so I'll have to wait for the cross to come back in a few minutes' time to see who's picked the right side and who hasn't.
Yeah, we've got 2 different ideas at the moment. There's quite a few takers for the east, so we'll shut down and come back to you when we get some fleet crossing here later on up this northeast beat. So I've got the camera on Jonathan Whitty's guys on the Panasonic Lumix. They're looking a treat right now. Now the big bonus for them is Warwick or Rooklyn, as you've just told me. They're going around the shortest distance can up there, going around a red can, which if they are leading this scratch race, that means they are well clear of the scratch markers in this race. So that's a pretty good position to be in. And they just crossed. They got Asco. James Doran, who used to sail Mojo last year, is taking the helm position on that boat today. Of course, Marcus Ashley Jones, he's got to leave into China. There's a lot of people touring at the moment out here. But Panasonic looks pretty nice, doesn't it, Was? It's getting nice and high. They just got the right rig on and the right settings at the moment, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. They look really good. But so does Asco actually as well. It's the old Colour 7 or 7 boat that they're taking over this year, and they're sailing very nicely also. Mojo, we saw, had a bit of a problem maybe with their Vang before, but they were certainly a man down for a while, so they're back up to speed again, but lost a lot of ground fixing that.
So this is the race, the scratch race right here with Lumix and Asco, and James Doran is just getting right up underneath Panasonic here. They go around the same mark, or are they on different marks up here?
Let me just get back to you.
Okay, we're just...
They're blue. They go around blue first.
Okay.
But yeah, you watch Panasonic, they're letting a lot more main sheet out and actually losing a little bit of height, and Asco's looks to me in a better mode. You've got the main in a little bit tighter most of the time and just steering around it, so they've actually found a really nice mode at the moment.
Yeah, well, we'll just get you up there and have a look at close up of the Asco setup from behind. James Doran is or Doro as he's known.
Just as I say that, they've let the main out go through the waves, but it wasn't like that a minute ago.
Yeah. So that's the Asco setup, and they're well eased at the moment. And there's this breeze getting up, Walter. You thought it might, and what do we reckon? We're up around the 18 sort of area here. 15, 18 in the gust, maybe?
Yeah, you'd say so.
Starting a few little white caps come into it, and Asco on the water has just herded up Lumix. It's just with that nice height he's getting. So we'll go to these marks and have a look and see how far apart they are, because that becomes a big part of this race. See how much they get taxed. Back to you then. Okay, there's James Doran's guys just tacking back. Now they are on approach to their first mark, which is a red mark. Oh no, they're on 2 minutes, they'll be going around a blue mark. So there's the difference. Panasonic is taxed, so they'll be taking that shorter red mark this first time. Doran's going around the blue mark, and Jono Whitty is going around that red mark. Should be pretty clear to you there. And the next boat on the racetrack is Grant Rollerson in the Fisher and Pike-Ell, and he's going unfortunately right to the Boucher Boy, which is the white mark today. And I'm just trying to find the Boucher Boy. Where is it, Was?
It's about 80 metres further up.
So that's
where Mojo and Coco are fighting to get to.
Right. So there it is. It was very confusing for them. It's confusing for us as well. So our leader on the racetrack is Lumix, black chute up and almost drawing, and Asco's around. So that's our race, and they've got a clear, nice little lead, haven't they, over these next boats? So that's where it's shaping up at the moment, and these guys could clear out with this. Early days, a lot of sailing to do yet, but it's Go You Good Thing Lumix and Asco, and then can't see any blue rounders coming in here. There's a lot of scratch markers. No, Johnny Winning is going to go around this blue can, so he'll be third on the racetrack. Yandu, it's a starboard hand rounding. No, DeLonghi, where's he going?
Pure Blonde's around third.
Has he? Oh, Pure Blonde, missed him completely. So Pure Blonde, Nick Daly's guys are in third position right now, and if they can only get the chute up, they might be doing okay. Bit of a problem with the hoisting, but Johnny Winning's fully set and drawing, and DeLonghi's giving it a crack as well. So nice lead, Lumix, comfortable second, Asco to Pure Blonde, and then Go You Good Thing Yandu and DeLonghi. That's the way it's shaping up. We'll get down and see how they knock off these jibe angles back to the island. That's the next big problem for them, to make a nice approach to Shark Island turn mark. So we're on leg 2. So just hauled up to the back of Lumix and just looking at the angle of the island. They've probably got it pretty good there, Was. What do you reckon? They're not over and they're not under. They're just having a nice look at this approach angle, aren't they?
Yeah, no, it looks like a good angle at the moment. Certainly you don't want to go too early. You get affected by the Lee and Nielsen Park. So these guys are very comfortable. But Asco, which is out of shot obviously at the moment, is not that far behind. So it's certainly not over yet.
So this is John O'Witty's crew from last year. They're pretty good guys. They had a lot on their plate when they put that big wing mast in the boat, didn't they? They were really distracted from a lot of other sailing, but they go pretty good with this second rig. And there's James Hozak ringing the neck of that black chute up in the bow. He's doing a pretty good job. So they're getting a bit of rust out here, Was.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, those development things, you know, if you believe in it, you want to go through it, you've got to try these things. That's how things move on, but you know, they don't always work.
So he's going to have another crack. He reckons he's going to sail into light air off Steel Point, so he's going to go back for some more of that tighter angle. And James Doran will have the same problem, you would think. It's got a bit light in here, mate. That's probably the reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's the way it's shaping up. Johnny Winnings, these guys are just getting away with this. They're sort of marching on and creating quite a break back to the chasing pack. Come back to you shortly. We'll get them going past Shark Island with a bit more action for you. Well, folks, got to fess up. I told you there's a bit of rust on out here and a lot of rust on my brain because I thought this was a Norris course, but as we've just discovered, Lumix tacked off that line and so is James Doran, and we're going straight down the bottom to Clark Island. So this is a windward leeward. I think it's a 4 times around, but we'll confirm that later. But it won't make any difference. These guys have split from the pack, haven't they, Was?
Yeah, absolutely. And at the moment, Asco's just sitting inside a big powerboat wake that's following Lumix, so that's not helping them. But no dramas really.
And James Doran, I'm just looking at the crew. So you got Monty, is of course Mick Alane's appliance online hasn't started today, so you got Paul Montague on sheet now. He knows what he's doing, and you got a bloke who was given the first name of Geronimo by his father, Jay Harrison, and that's the sort of bloke you want the bow, is it? Somebody called Geronimo.
Yeah, and that's Geronimo's second season now, so he learned a lot last year. He's been overseas in Europe and America match racing, so I really rank him. He's a great guy, a real thinker, and he's going to just get better and better as the years go on.
Yeah, good to see. So, looking back, the chasers we'll shut down from this and pick them up at the bottom turn mark, but these two have skipped away quite a bit here. Back to you then. So down the bottom of the course, it's a windward leeward course as we've just proclaimed, and I've given myself an uppercut. So there goes our leader. There's 2 marks to round down here, and Jono's going to go for the more one off our bow, so we better get out of here. But a bit of an untidy takedown, a bit of a tangle up there, but James Hozak's got it away now, and they'll be back on a wind. And the next boat you'll see with a red and white chute is James Doran's guys. Geronimo in the bow and Paul Montague on sheet, and Doro steering it. Doing a pretty good job. He's going to sail in that boat on the sheet when Marcus Ashley Jones comes back from China. That's the story. So
He left that drop late.
yeah, he's still up the mast. Oh man.
For an experienced driver, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're derating him for that.
Yeah.
Doro, give yourself an uppercut. So,
Like, you can't have the mast at the top of the sail and stick it into the breeze.
so that's poor Geronimo. But he's a battler, that Geronimo. So the next boat into this takedown area is Johnny Winnings and dude. Noddy Hay just tucking that away professionally. Jimmy Beck on the sheet, nice and textbook, nice and safe by the look of it. Noddy out in the rack, and we've got Pure Blonde, who's under.
Go around the mark the wrong way,
Pure Blonde needs to he must be going to go around the furthest mark. He can exonerate himself then, or has he got to go through that gate? I'm not sure. No, he's not happy either about the takedown. So Ewan McNichol will sneak into 4th position right there. On the mighty Mojo, they had that problem with their boom vang, we think, going up the first beat, cost them dearly. Simon Nerd coming in, and then Coco, surprisingly, way back in this race, and it's only early days, but he's got a new forward hand in the bow, filling in for Trent Barnabas. So they'll be just trying to get the rust out of that crew. Davey O'Connor's in the middle of that. Fisher and Paykel here, Grant Rollerson, Big Pete, and don't know the bowman in there. I think it's Pete. And Malcolm Page sort of fell out. And the other boat that I fancied today was Kenwood, and they're way back. So you can see them trying to give some grief to Malcolm Page here, blasting in late, and they're going to have some.
This will be a late drop. They'll end up on that.
Holy dolly. A jive drop for sure. A little bit of heart rate going up there for the forward hand, and that'll be an untidy one. And Nicky Press, he was a scratch marker, so he's further back than fullback as a result of that. And they're all having trouble getting these shirts off. Was there? I don't know whether it's all about rust, I would think.
Yeah, it's just
early days.
All of them were super late. The only one that really, got the timing right was Yandu on Woody's team.
Okay, that's the situation at the completion of 1 lap. We've got 2 more to go, and I can see Lumix, John O'Witty's guys, just tacking in under Bradley's. A nice tidy lead. We'll get up there and bring you some more action. Just travelling behind Michael Coxon on the Thurlow Fisher Lawyers. He's got a brand new mainsail on this boat. He's only put the rig in this week, and I don't know how much chance they've had. It's early days, I guess. They've got to do a bend on it and try and get the luff curve right, but it's interesting, Warwick. These are the number 2 rigs on these boats. What do you reckon? It's only blowing, sort of puffing to 18 max out here, and they're struggling with these rigs, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're with the square tops now, they're into their second rig so early. Yeah, but 15 to 18. And they got Daniel Nixon starting with them this year, up until the JJs, I believe. So it's a good opportunity for Daniel. I'm sure he'll do a really good job.
Yeah, I'm sure. And interesting race developing for the scratch markers. And here's another one of them, Fisher and Paykel, Grant Rollerson and Pete Nichols. So there is a good race between the back markers, and Coco's in front of Fisher and Paykel and Mojo. Ewan McNichol, Mike McKenzie and Ricky Bridges is fighting their way back into this. So that could be a good tussle anyway, the race within a race. And as I was saying, it's early days. All these handicaps were awarded willy-nilly a bit because Grant was given a scratch mark, and that's the old slam boat. So, he would have been a bit kind if they gave him a couple of minutes, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but that's just the way it is at the beginning of the year, isn't it? They do their best and get different accommodations and so forth, and
that's not a very good tack.
All pans out in the end.
He's got to stand in putting his fist in the air as if it was our fault. He wants an 10 metre rule because he was on the boat that we hit last year in the JJ. That Nick Team Daly or whatever it was called. I don't know if you were watching when we rammed the back of him and put him out of the race. So he's still worried about us. And there's the kitchen maker, a boomer was there, Malcolm Page, battling away a bit of rust in that boat. Different crew on that again today, different forward hand. So that's it on the second beat up to Buoys for the turn marks, but it's all a Lumix right now. If he keeps that thing upright, he should canter away. He's going around another red buoy, short mark, and it's all in his favour at the moment. We'll get up there and cover the roundings. See you there. Okay, we're on Lumix, John O'Witty's guys again, still leading this race today, and he's kicked away that James Doran's guys, as you saw. Warwick went for a bit of a half tea bag there, so these guys have just wrapped this thing up. All they've got to do is keep it upright today.
Yeah, they've just got away. The others just had a few issues. I saw Asco had some type of issues, like a half capsize there for a while, so they're out of the game now. And the rich have just got richer, so they're just sailing around, no pressure, and just do their job.
Yeah, enjoying themselves, no doubt. When you've got a nice lead like that, you can just send the boat along nicely, set the thing up and enjoy it. So they're on this red mark rounding, which just rubs it into the other boats even more because they're on the short marks. And I think they take a blue the next time up, but that won't concern them too much because I think they're probably fastest on the race course even right now. The scratch mark is hard to say. They've had to go around the furthest mark, but they're...
I think it might be the retro cycling cap that Jono's got on. It's obviously added a bit of speed.
Yeah, it's very, very out there. And anyway, it's interesting. Port hand rounding. Normally the Norris course is starboard hand rounding up here, so we should have picked that up last time, but didn't. And there goes our leader. So he's a country mile in front right now. And we'll just let him go because I think there's some compression coming from the next few boats. We've got Johnny Winning is probably the best of the rest, and he's going to take on the blue mark. Oh, Jono, that's the way to stop it. Put it under the boat, love. Quite a bit of rust on these crews that he was witnessing, and there's a bit of rust on the driver of the camera cat as well. So anyway, we'll shut it down and wait for these other boats to get up here. See you there. Okay, second on the racetrack, just turning their blue mark, second time round. Yandu, go you good thing. Johnny Winning, Noddy and Jimmy Beck on board to hoist that chute up, and they're having a pretty good race.
Having a very good race. I mean, Woody just amazing, you know. It's 60-ish. 60-ish. Unbelievable.
Charles on the shitters on Saturdays and doubles up, comes out and punts this thing around. It's a pretty remarkable effort. Must sleep well.
Yes, and I think the Cairo does all right out of him as well.
Takes a few shackles of him.
But he's done so much for the class, just fantastic.
They're a good squad. They're very good in the nor'easter. They know this track pretty well, and good in the hard conditions as well. Jimmy Beck done a lot of miles. Noddy, likewise, done a lot of yachting, a lot of crazy offshore stuff. So solid crew, and they have a real good time when they're sailing together. And that's what this sport's all about, enjoyment. So they're gone, they're in second, so we'll get back up there and see how Mojo's on his way to that top mark, the Beacher Buoy, which is the furthest up there. And he's around. Mojo's around, so he's got James Doran. You can see the red and white chute back in business, so he heads Mojo. So that'll be a tight dash for cash down the bottom, you would think. And DeLonghi's around. DeLonghi Rabbitohs, Simon Nern. So there's a good race to get into the podium for the third position at this point in time. But it's sort of like a straggled fleet after that. So we'll get up there and go for a ride with James Doran and then cut back to Mojo, see how they're going. Come back to you then. It's caught up to Asco Buoys, Geronimo, Monty and Doro, looking like one of the Blues brothers there. He's very athletic looking bloke, and he's got himself well braced, knees well bent, he's got some waves coming at him and they're going to put a jibe in by the look of it.
Well, they've had to go low to miss this channel marker off Nelson Park, and a lot of big waves at the same time, so always a tricky thing to do. But first week out, new combination, they're doing a good job.
Setting up for a jibe here in his second because they're running out of runway, so I'll just watch them do this and we'll cut back, have a look at the Mojo boys, see how they're travelling. But they've got a nice little bit of pace on here, these guys, doing a good job. Jibe time. Keeping it upright.
Got Mojo, yeah.
Going to sit off the back of the Mojo here. They've got a bit of an issue with the boat underneath them, a little yatchet, but I'm sure they'll be able to accommodate them. And yep, so we're looking at Ewan McNichol on the stick here.
Ooh, bit of traffic
and a
here.
Yacht underneath them. This could be interesting. I hope he tacks in a hurry. Just got enough room to sneeze through. Yeah, put the helm down is always good to avoid those ones. So Ewan, one of the great skippers in this class. In other classes, he's an Olympic coach. Coached the women's match racing team in Weymouth, didn't he? So he can just get a phone call, turn up in the park, and get out there and do some magic on these boats. He's got a very good crew with him, of course. These are the guys that are sailing with Chris Nicholson. You know a lot about Chris, was it?
Yeah, yes.
Runs a very good program, Chris Nicholson.
Absolutely, or two-time Olympian, I think 3 or 4 times Volvo around the world sailor and skipper in the last edition. So yeah, Nico is no slouch, and it's been a long time since he sailed in 18. He was back in the Grand Prix days with skilled engineering. But these guys are leading all the scratch boats, and obviously they've, with that problem maybe with the Vang earlier on, these guys have sailed back up to these other guys very well.
So there's an interesting race we'll develop this next time around. We've got James Doran in front of them in the ASCO. Just watching him early, he's probably got a couple of 100 metres break on these guys, but I reckon Doro would like to beat his old boat home, and these guys would like to beat Doro, so that could be worth a look at some point going to the finish.
Yeah, so still another lap to go, and as we've already seen, you know, traffic can come into play on Sydney Harbour as it normally does, and so you've got to be very aware and plan a long way ahead.
Nice pictures there, opening up the Harbour Bridge, the mighty Mojo on fire. Lovely day out here, folks. That's what we always wanted to see. Nice sunny nor'easters, 18-foot skiffs, just romping downwind. What could be better? I'll come back to you shortly. So just watching Mojo close in on ASCO, coming across on starboard tack, and this is closed right up. We thought it might, and this will be a ding-dong all the way to the finish, you would think, but Mojo's made some big inroads there. That jibe off, he went back inside Bradley's there. So this is closed right up, was. This will be good.
Yeah, and ASCO overlaid, and once again is making it hard work for the fighting in the shoot down. But having said that, you know, Ewan's probably left the drop whisker too late, but he'll just turn the wheel and get the inside. So
a lot of work for
and a bit of prawning there.
Stopped. So sometimes it pays not to go that hard and don't put too much pressure on, Was? Sometimes.
Well, you very rarely see them drop their chutes too early. And it's, you know, in the little bit of coaching I've done, I just dare to drop early.
Yeah.
It's nearly always too late. Once again, the same with DeLonghi, you know, just going to sail past the mark and just make it hard work.
Want to be getting out on the rack a bit earlier than that, but anyway, they've all got their own way of doing it. Michael Coxon, not on the money today. I think that big mainsail's probably a little bit overcooked for him, but I'm sure he'll fix that up. So
see, that's a good one there. Coco started the drop a bit earlier than the rest, and so that was actually pretty good timing. They're going to have to two-sail jibe here, which they do nicely.
Oh. So as Warwick was saying, they were all not interested in taking the chute off early. Just bang them down at the very death and make your own arrangements. So that's it at the bottom mark. We've got one more uphill and down to go. We'll catch up with the leader shortly. See you then. That is our leader, Lumix. These guys have had their nose in front all day. They probably, on the water, they lost it to ASCO, but then because they went around the red mark, they've gone around a blue mark this time because of their handicap, and they've just blown their doors off right now. I can see John winning in the distance. Mojo, he's having a sniff at Woody's position, but Mojo's a scratch mark. He's got to go all the way to the furthest mark, the white boy. Lumix will do this in a canter. All he's got to do is keep it upright, and that'd be mandatory right now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. They've done a really good job today. They, you know, had a couple of little handling errors, but you know, as you said, this is the first race of the season. Most of these boats have been sitting on trailers all winter with probably no attention to them, and so there's little hiccups here and there, but they've certainly done a nice clean job today and should easily win this race.
Yeah, it won't get the grin off Jono's face. Always nice to win one. It's not easy to win a race out here with the competition starts to heat up. So we'll get down and follow them across the line, but we're just going to watch these other two boats come round. Hopefully we've got enough grunt in the outboards to get us down there, but I think we might.
Marks, yeah.
We'll be going straight. They'll be doing the zig-zag jobbing. So next boat on the racetrack, as you can just see coming in here, Simon's got him in camera, is John Winning coming straight at us, and that's Mojo, Ewan McNichol right up his clacker, a little bit to leeward. So that's the Podium, and Asco, I don't think, we could, because Mojo's got to go around that furthest mark, so it could be a close one, but we'll work that out down the bottom. So I think that's enough for us up here. Those guys are going to get round these marks. They'll sort themselves out, set shoots and set sail for the finish line. So we'll get up down the harbour and track along and take Lumix across the line for you, and then we'll pick up the rest of the Podium. John Winning about to go around his blue marks, so he's in pretty good shape. So that put Ewan back a bit. He's got to go all the way to the white mark, and we'll put him out the back door, and Asco's on approach to his, he might be going around a white mark, not sure, but it doesn't really matter. We'll see, it'll sort itself out at the finish line. That's what these three boys are all about. So we're going to look for Lumix, catch up with you then. Just caught up with our leader, the Panasonic guys. They've got such a big lead. I'm assuming that they're just going to sake this thing down the harbour, They're all sitting in, nobody's pressuring the rig up. You can only assume they're just going to cruise into the finish.
Yeah, well, you don't see that very often. You've got the mainsails out, and I don't know, maybe they're slowing up. I think they might hurt their handicap or something. I think they're sandbagging at the moment, or they've broken something. They don't want to be on the stress the rig. But it seems a bit unusual. The breeze has backed off a lot, but yeah, you don't see that very often.
Well, it is a massive lead. It's nearly over a kilometre, so they're just going to feather this thing down the track and take the win.
Oh, you know what? Looks like they've broken a pole wire.
Aha.
The wire that supports the pole on this tack or this jibe is broken. So the starboard wire, you can see the pole bending really badly.
Well spotted, was it?
So they've taken all the load off the boat and just try and nurse it home. When they jibe, they'll be able to load it up again.
Yeah, you're right. That whisker is not doing anything. So that explains that. So they've just got that luxury of that lead to be able to get away with this. Slow way to the line, but just got a couple more jibes to go and they'll be through with it. So that's what's happened. A little bit of rust out here. The boats, as Warwick was saying, they've been on trailers all the winter, untouched and thrown together down in the park today. So that's the story. Lumix just got to get another half a K down this track and they'll take the victory. Come back to the finish line. Hopefully they'll get there. So what Warwick Rooklyn picked up on was that busted bow prod wire, and so different looking boat now. Three out the rack and sending it. So yeah, handled that pretty well. So they'll pretty much lay the finish on this board. They won't have to go back on that other dodgy side if they just take it easy. So that's our leader, all the way leader today. Lumix sorting out the problems right at the death, but just had the luxury of that massive lead that they built on all day, going around those short marks. Well played. See you at the finish. All the way leader today, Lumix, just ranging up on this finish line right in front of us, and they'll be able to get through on that board. So a little bit of drama at the end for them, but nice job these guys. Just going to let it skate through. And there it is there, horn well played. So first today, Lumix. We'll just sit here and see what happens for the Podium. They're coming down up to then, about 5 minutes away. Here comes the mighty Yandu, Johnny Winning's boys, cruising in, clear second today. Did a great job, faultless sailing on their part. They just enjoyed those blue marks most of the day, so they got the luxury on the scratch markers, and I could see a ding-dong battle coming here for third, Asco and Mojo. So we'll button off and see who gets that one. Back to you then. Okay, what we thought was going to be a close finish, you're looking at Asco, and they overcooked that ley line to buggery, and they've had to peel their shit as a result, and not so for Ewan McNichol, who's just nailed this approach to this finish line. They got heated up a bit, but they're just going to cruise through here, whereas James Doran, I don't know where he was going, he overcooked that one big time. But third today for Mojo, and
that was a good result for you.
Yeah, Ewan did well. First to the scratch boat today, takes third on the podium. And DeLonghi is of interest here because they're going to jibe. You would think now would be appropriate. And see if James Doran's going to get them. They've just got their bow down nicely. So Asco across next from DeLonghi.
More breeze down this side of the harbour.
A lot more breeze down here. Warwick, you're right.
They've overlaid as well.
So it's got tricked up here. We've just realised up the top mark when we were up there waiting for that windward rounding that it was quite light up there, but it's freshened up for some reason down this bottom part of the course, and there's a couple more boats overcooked here. Thurlow Fisher, not so Malcolm Page, he'll make it quite comfortably, but Thurlow's got a fair bit on there just to keep the chute full. So that's it for the second race of the season. It was good. Thank you, Warwick Rooklyn, for coming out and having a mag. Good on you.
Yeah, thanks, Kilo. I enjoyed it. I caught up with Steamer and you and for the boys, so it's been a pleasant afternoon.
Might be a possibility where you want to do it again next Sunday. Love to have you back, mate.
Yeah, I'm around. It's good. Okay. Always enjoy coming out.
Well played. We'll get ashore. Thanks, Simon Brown, for squeezing the trigger. Malcolm Page just doing a little full lie-by on the way to the beach, and we'll catch up with John O'Witty and see how he's feeling. I'd say he'd be feeling pretty good right now. See you ashore, and we'll see you next Sunday.